That's right. That's right.
This is Ericka White with Revealed, and I am here at this amazing church, Calvary Christian Center. Please join me as we take a closer look inside with Senior Pastor Jim Raley.
I don't care how saved you are. I don't care how washed in the blood you are. I don't care how victorious you are. I don't care how much you talk in tongues. I don't care how spiritual you are. You're going to have to fight, baby. You just well to know you got to fight. If you're going to overcome, you're going to have to fight. You got people wanting to win, but they ain't wanting to fight. You got people wanting to go to the next level, but they don't want to fight. You better get ready to fight.
Pastor Raley, take us into the vision, the diversity, the worship style of Calvary Christian Center.
You know, Calvary, it's hard to peg this church as one certain kind of church. It's multiracial. It's so many different kind of cultures. It's so many different kinds of people, economically, educationally. You know, we've got judges and doctors and lawyers, and then we've got 100 or 150 homeless folks sitting in second service every Sunday that we feed and clothe and take care of. We're probably half minority, and it's just an amazing thing God is doing here. When I came here years ago, the Lord spoke to me that if I'd love the ones nobody wanted, He'd give me the ones everybody wanted.
Wow.
So we made that a priority. I started paying attention to what I thought had God's attention. I figured homeless folk, wounded folk, weary folk, at-risk kids, I figured that had God's attention. And when I started paying attention to what had God's attention, I got God's attention.
That's awesome.
That's the key. If you want God's attention, pay attention to what He's paying attention to.
That's awesome. Now listen, I know you're here and you're preaching to thousands of people on a weekend. Take us back to the beginning stages of Calvary so the people can see that this hasn't just been an overnight thing for you. You've been through some challenges. You've been through some things. Take us to that.
We were meeting when I first came in an old broken down gymnasium. Financially, the church was just in terrible shape. We had a school that was losing 6 figures a year. Our church took in almost nothing. We had not very many people at all. Our facilities were falling apart. I can't tell you how many times I was told, we're going to turn off your lights, we're going to turn off your water. It was a desperate situation that we came to.
So Pastor Raley, we are standing out here in this project, this $18 million plus project. Tell us about this Build the Altar.
Well, it's just been a phenomenal thing that the Lord has put before us to do, and it's been a major step of faith. It's going to really run, with the land costs and everything, it could run over $20 million.
Wow.
We're about $5 million in, and we haven't borrowed a dime so far.
Wow.
We're doing this 100% by faith as unto the Lord, and I'm excited. I can't wait. We've got about close to a 90,000 square foot facility going in.
That's awesome.
So it's incredible.
Let me stop you. You said you're doing this debt-free. You're $5 million in,
Right.
and this is a debt-free project. Wow. Tell us, how did you get the concept for that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been 100% by faith. And every time we've needed the money, God's brought it in.
Wow.
And that's where we're headed. And as long as we can maintain our faith in Him, we know He's going to provide. This is His place.
Wow.
This is for His glory. And I remind Him every once in a while, God, this is a big job. You got to come through big.
Right.
And God does. I was talking to our church Sunday about God being your partner. And all I feel like I am is a partner with the Lord.
That's awesome.
Now, He's the senior partner. I'm just a little partner. But I know this, if God is my partner, I better make my plans big.
That's awesome.
So that's
now,
what we
you labeled this building an altar. You did not label this building another church, building another edifice. This is building an altar. Talk to us about that.
Well, that was so, the Lord spoke to me about the fact that He didn't want me to build a church. Churches are everywhere, and that's a great thing. He didn't want me to just build a facility.
Wow.
He wanted me to build an altar.
Yes.
Because an altar is a place where you meet God. An altar is a place that is set aside for fellowship and communion with God. He said, son, build me an altar.
Wow.
He said, build me a place and meet with me in that place. And he said, don't just build an altar that will alter the world. And so I told my church, I said, I want you to understand something. You are the church.
Yes.
I said, we're not building a church. I said, the church is more than a facility.
Right.
If this facility burns down, we still got a church. We're building an altar.
That is absolutely awesome.
What's up with that.
Wow.
Then Pastor Tommy Barnett, I would say, has had more influence in my life, even though he doesn't realize it, than almost anybody.
Okay.
He came here years ago. He pastored a church of 13,000 in Phoenix. And then in LA, he is the founder of the Dream Center. And that ministry is huge. And he came here years ago, and we were struggling, man. It was we were scraping the bottom, and our mortgage payments, I almost had nobody much coming to church, and I had mortgage payments every month of about $28,000. Mortgage payments. I mean, you think about it, it was overwhelming. And we had saved up that month about $25,000, and we didn't have nothing extra. We were just trying to get enough money to pay that mortgage payment.
Sure.
And the Lord spoke to me the night that he preached to sow everything I had into his ministry, into the Dream Center. Because he didn't take any of that money himself. He put it all in the Dream Center. The Lord said, I want you to give it all.
Wow.
And I remember the night with tears in my eyes, man. I gave him that $25,000. And he didn't know that it was pretty much everything I had. But I can tell you from that point on, we've not wanted for anything.
Isn't that awesome? Pastor Raley, we thank you so much for spending time with us and coming on the show. It has been absolutely phenomenal. God bless you.